Mons. So today we're going to take a look at a World War robot Dropcloth from ThreeA. This is the Olympus Mons version. I have no idea what this robot is, if it's an actual character, if it's just a normal robot. So I tried, guys. I really tried to research on what this robot was and why it's important, but there's no information about it. It's an old figure. That's all I know. It came out in 2010. Now, even though it's an old figure, it well makes up for it with its detail, its articulation, and its engineering. This robot beats any robot you see today, especially Hot Toys. I'll show you guys the robot in a minute, but this is the box. It's pretty standard. It doesn't really show the robot. And all these Dropcloth boxes really look the same except for the different names and maybe different colors. But yeah, this is the box. Bold lettering and standard picture, standard 3A typography. So with that being said, let's take a look at it. And here he is, the Olympus Mons Dropcloth. And as you can see, he's a real trash can of a robot, which I love. I love trash can looking robots. You could see his long spindly arms, his little bony fingers, his backpacks, his cloth. You could see he has thrusters, I think, or some sort of vents for heating. Unfortunately, when I got this guy, he was really messed up. I could show you some pictures here. He had some mold or some dust or whatever sticking on him. Now, I did tell the seller this. I told him that, this guy's kind of messed up, and he refunded me half of what I paid for this guy. So I did get him at a deal, but I had to trade off with the damage I suffered through, because when I cleaned it, there was no way I could clean it with just water. So I had to put soap or some sort of detergent, I forgot what, and I had to really go at it because it was really in there. And when I did that, when I washed all the solution off, I could see not the paint, but the dye of the cloth just run off. So if you plan to clean your your 3A figures, please don't use detergent because it will run the colors. And as you can see, you can barely make out the lettering on his skirt anymore. This used to be really clear black, but now it's like all, worn out. I like to pretend it's because of the aesthetic, it's all worn out, but in truth, I kind of messed up with using detergent and trying to clean it up. But you have to admit, the damage was pretty substantial, and the only way to really clean it was to use some sort of solution, because I think it was some type of mold just growing on these backpack cloth bits. You know what? I'm okay with it. I got them at a fantastic deal, and I'm pretty happy I have one Dropcloth in my collection, especially a 1/6 scale Dropcloth. So let's take a closer look at him. So here's a closer look at the Olympus Mons Dropcloth, and as you can see, the cloth, well, maybe not on camera, but in person you could see some of the fading happening here, but it adds to his junkiness, I guess, because he is a junky looking robot. I mean, you could see all the rust, all the oil just dripping out of him. I mean, this is what I love about 3A, because they make these very withered, very worn out looking, real world looking robots. I mean, you could actually see this happening in our world, these type of robots, because they're bucket heads. They don't need to be over stylized. They are mass produced, and there is no need to add any more to it because you already know it's a junky robot. And that's the best thing I like about 3A designs. They don't really need to do much because what they, aside from the engineering, what they excel at is the paintwork. I mean, the paintwork is on another level with 3A. You cannot find another company that does the same weathering with metal or with clothing like 3A. I mean, look at that. I mean, if you didn't know 3A at all, and if you saw this yourself, you could basically say that's like metal rusting, and Look at that. What a handsome fellow. Now he comes with only 2 accessories, but honestly that's all you need. The belt does come attached. You can detach all this stuff, the backpack belt and his skirt, to reveal I guess his inside. But you know, why would you? So first off, let's see. We have his little machine gun thing. So this is his machine gun. It's pretty it's a pretty junky looking machine gun, truthfully. It does have a spring, so it does retract. I don't know why you would want to have it retract, but the function's there. I mean, you can see, look at that. Look at all the rust, all the wear of this little junky looking machine gun. Now the clip does come off, but it is pretty tight. And I guess you could see the bullet. So you could have him pose him as he's reloading his junky machine gun. Yeah, this is it. You can't retract that. So because of his stems, this stem and this stem, this weapon is really fragile. So, you know, as always with 3A figures, please be careful with handling them and posing them. He does hold this very well because all his fingers here are individually articulated, which is kind of insane. So that's his little machine gun. And lastly, he has a little blocky handgun. As you can see, it's very blocky. I mean, I think this is a Glock, like maybe their universe of a Glock, but this is insane how it's painted. All the patina, all this wear. It doesn't really retract, or the clip doesn't come out. This is just one solid piece. So this is his handgun. And that's all he has, just 2 weapons. And honestly, that's all this guy needs, because you don't really want to overload this piece with accessories, because right now he's perfect. So let's load him up. So here's the Dropcloth all kitted up, and as you can see, he does have individually articulated fingers, as I said before, so it's very easy for him to hold things. And truthfully, there isn't a lot to say about this guy. He's a very iconic design for 3A. I mean, there are a lot of these guys back in the day running around, but I did pass up on them. But now that they're pretty rare to find, and that 3A no longer creates World War robot stuff, you know, it's kind of sad that they don't make World War robots anymore. But truth be said, when they make these guys, it's just, you know, repaints of the same thing. So I guess they will have to stop at some point. So this is him. You can see all the Type R 1971, all that. I can't tell you what these words mean. I can't tell you what this robot is. There isn't a lot of lore for these 3A figures, unfortunately. But if you guys know, you know what? Why don't you share in the comment section, I guess, and I'll read it. A little knowledge can go a long way for me. I wish I can tell you what these Dropcloths are. Are they like individual pieces? Or are they just a bunch of robots running around killing people? Or are they a bunch of robots helping people? These are the questions I need answered. So, with that being said, let's take one final close-up and end this review. So here's a close-up of the Dropcloth Olympus Mons, and you can see his big old bucket head helmet that actually covers his actual head, which is a very smart idea. It kind of protects him in a way. You could see all the paintwork, all the colorization, all the weathering, all the rust. I've yet to see another company able to replicate this type of weathering effect. I mean, you could see the oil slicks happening here. The individual fingers. It does scare me when I articulate these things because they are fragile, as you can see. Not a whole lot of plastic being connected there, so the chances of you breaking that is pretty high. As you can see, the the backpacks I kind of ruined with my washing skills. The dye kind of ran away, but it's not that bad, but it did suck when I saw it happen. Either that or just keep the mold on them, which, you know, that's not gonna fly by me. So see, because I think these used to be more green, but now they're brown because the dye kind of ran away when I washed it. Yeah, the PAR 1971, I have no idea what that means. If anybody knows any lore or history about these guys, please let me know. You can see all the oil stains and all that. So you could tell this is a pretty worn and used robot. See his little, I guess, power source here. More back. Yeah, you can see here, these letterings used to be shiny, but because I ran it under a tap and used solution, it kind of ran away. So yeah, this is not supposed to look like this. It's supposed to be a little bit more shinier, more darker, more black, but oh well. And he does have a gun holster here. So you can see all that oil slick. You know what? Yeah, again, if you guys know any history or any lore or just a small sentence about this guy, please let me know, because I'm very curious about these Dropcloths and what they are in this Ashley Wood universe. So yeah, this is a close-up of his little big fingers. So yeah, this is him. This is the Dropcloth. Very iconic design for 3A. So with that being said, let's stick this handsome boy on the shelf. And this is where I'll stick the Dropcloth with his other Dropcloth friend here. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be reviewing this guy because essentially he's the same construction. And because I don't really have the box for him, I bought him loose. But this is where I'll stick my only 2 Dropcloths here. Well, not only 2, I do have some baby ones here, some baby Dropcloths here. But these are the only 2 big ones, 1/6 scale ones I have, and they're very hard to get, especially for me. I got both of them from the same seller, but it took me months to get it because of the price. But I'm glad I did. Glad I shelled out the money. I think I got these guys 3 to 2 years ago. And they are very old figures. I mean, 2010 was a while ago. Seemed like simpler times back then. So yeah, that's my small, humble review over the Olympus Mons Dropcloth from 3A. Very iconic figure, very iconic design for 3A, and I really, really, really encourage anybody who is collecting 3A to get at least one Dropcloth in their collection. So yeah, with that being said, thanks for watching, and as always, go get 'em.